Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Beau here. Welcome to Walking with Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. We're already begun the evening, being kind of spicy. I'm not going to put the video on YouTube, but I am going to save the video because, well, actually what I got to do is I'm going to have to find a way. See, that's very difficult to do with YouTube, the way it's set up. You used to be able to do it, and now you can't blur people's faces. You have to do it in a separate app. Video editing. But anyway, I could probably find like a little image that's blurred and just do a composite. That I can do. That's a short clip, but it's somebody I just ran into that's obviously messed up on drugs, and he's been drinking. And he asked me if I was into doing heroin. So he has kind of a backpack on him, probably homeless. Actually, more than likely, I'm sure he is. And asking me if I do heroin. I was like, no, I do not. Then he asked me for some change. I don't have any change. Then he started talking about somebody else up the road was an F in this and an F in that, and he started flipping middle fingers. Teeth missing. Smell alcohol on him. And he's obviously looking for heroin. So, drugs are wonderful, aren't they? Anyway, I did have this recording. So, I'm glad nothing bad happened. He was certainly, he seemed kind of unpredictable. He didn't seem like he was threatening or angry or anything, but he seemed like he could be unpredictable. The initial read I got off him was he didn't have crazy eyeballs, but he had high eyeballs. And the eyes never lie, folks. So anyway, I had my hand on my accoutrement that I carry with me. Actually, I'm going to go this way. Better lighting. I'm going to have better lighting for tonight's walk. I don't want to do these side woodsy kind of roads. It gets dark. So anyway, this son of a bitch was obviously somebody to be concerned about. Definitely looks like if he could get away with it, he'd try to rob somebody or something like that. And a lot of people are like, oh, come on. Well, people do that for drugs. They do a lot of things for drugs. They kill people for drugs. They'll sell their mother for drugs. So anyway, he was definitely somebody that was unsavory. Let's put it that way. Now, I've run into people that were drunks on my walks or whatever else, and they didn't give off the vibe this guy gave off. This guy gave off a vibe like he just looks like he's been in jail a few times. So, anyway, I was ready. He was walking up closer to me there, and I took a step back and he stopped, it looked like. So, I don't know what he was walking up on me for. That makes me nervous. I don't like that. So, price of gas right now, $3.36. We get $3.36 per gallon. $3.26 with a membership card. Price of gas is still up there. So, Kamala Harris's polling has seemed to have steadied off a bit. The shiny new thing stuff is wearing off. And it hasn't been that long, and she's still 2 points behind on Trump in most polling, which is where Biden was before the debate. So that's where we are on that. So anyway, yeah, I was just thinking about it. She is where Biden was before the debate, and the reason why that they scheduled the debate was Biden was slipping behind Trump in the polls. So despite everything that's happened, she's still in the polls, down. Now the other thing that's interesting is she had a rally in Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, and stay away from polls like Bloomberg, heavily biased. They have Kamala and Trump tied in Georgia, nobody else does. And again, here's the RCP average. Trump's like almost 3 points up in Georgia. So anyway, she had a rally, and you know, she managed to fill the half a hockey arena. It looked good on video, but realistically, they were there to see a rap artist that was performing. And after the rap artist performed, Kamala Harris was going to talk. And as soon as she started talking, some people were getting up and leaving. So they came there to see the rap performer because it was free. That's why they went. And like Trump said at his rally tonight, he doesn't need famous people to perform to get people to come to his rally. He's always very fond of saying that. So this is the foolishness that we're experiencing. So yes, the shiny new object is starting to stabilize and level off. Now Trump today, holy cannolis. He did a on-stage interview with the National Black Media Association, and they one woman in particular was really tough on Trump, really being belligerent and hateful and spiteful. And Trump told her that's what she was being. So now they're trying to say that Trump was being a misogynist and mean to black ladies. And the truth of the matter is when he showed up there was audio troubles, technical difficulties, and the audience had to wait 35 minutes. So of course you know what happened with that, right? Trump is making black people wait because he doesn't respect black people. He showed up late, was disrespectful. Well, that's not what happened. And that was clarified when Trump came on stage, because he made the crowd know why he wasn't out there on time. And he told the black woman sitting there that they created this audio problem on purpose to make him look bad. And because she had said something like, well, we only have an hour, so we need to get this going. Then Trump goes, well, you should have had your audio stuff working. You wasted 35 minutes with that. So the reason why that was harmful is Trump did a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and he was speaking to the black press in Chicago. He's on a time schedule. He needs to get to Harrisburg for 6 o'clock. And this thing in the afternoon was at 1 o'clock, I believe it was scheduled for, and it ran late. So, you know, he's got to go to the airport. They got to schedule a runway to take off and do maintenance and whatever else. So anyways, so he speaks, and he's having a pretty good interview with them. A couple of them are really going after him, but he's taking it. He's doing all right. And then the Trump campaign says, we got to go. So it ended after about 30-something minutes. Now, this was scheduled for an hour, but it started late. So now the narrative is that Trump couldn't take the heat from these black people, and his Trump campaign cut it early because Trump was bombing. Well, that's not what happened. And you got to give Trump credit for going there. Went into the lion's den, okay? All by himself. Originally, Queen Harris was supposed to be there. So, Queen Harris was supposed to be there, and she didn't show up. She said she wasn't going to go. So Trump said, to hell with it. I'll go by myself. I'll let them beat me up. At least they'll know I care. And that's what he did. So that's literally all there was to that. And of course the media is going to make a bigger thing out of it. There's a whole bunch of sound clips I saw it when it was happening. It's like, you know what? They're going to edit that one and take the context of what he said out of it to make him look like he's saying something bad. So, but Trump knew that. And, you know, lately that kind of stuff has been blowing up in the media's face because they can't get away with it anymore. And people know they do it. So I think a lot of people are tuning that out, which is why you're really not seeing the polls change very much. The only changes you've seen is that it's now Harris and not Biden. That's the only thing that's changed. There's slightly more enthusiasm among young people to vote for Harris than they did for Biden. And it only affects things a point or two. Which is a lot, it is. A national election. But like Trump said tonight, there's a lot of time left between now. And he understands because he's been through this twice. This right now basically doesn't really mean much at the time. All of this stuff they're saying about J.D. Vance, he said, as soon as the convention for the Democrats is over, nobody's going to be talking about vice presidents. They don't affect anything. And he goes, unless you're talking about Kamala, because she's the vice president currently. So, I've already seen a lot of things today, like with Democrat voters, black people. I've seen them saying it online, saying, you know, she keeps talking about lowering prices and inflation, and she's in the White House now. What? And, you know, excuse my French, but one of these black chicks said, what's this mother effing bitch talking about? She's been in the White House. She's had an opportunity to fix this and didn't. In fact, some of the women they were interviewing in Atlanta, they were asked a simple question. Name a policy of Kamala Harris's. These are people that are supporting Kamala. Not one could name anything, nothing. One of them actually admitted that Kamala's been completely gone, vanished. Nobody has seen her for 3.5 years. Now all of a sudden she's running for president. So it's pretty crazy. So anyway, that guy I ran into before I started this walk is another reason why I like to wear a camera when I'm walking. Just in case something stupid does happen, it's documented. Let's walk past the discount smoke shop. They're open. Get some THC, some pre-rolled joints, glass pipes. Budweiser discount smoke shop. Vape liquid, edibles, cigarros. Well, look at that. Get your weed here. Get your weed bongs. Get your pre-rolled joints, folks. So tonight, it's about 72 degrees. Very humid tonight. Yes, I am sweating already. And so we got a lot of crazy things going on. We got crazy people walking around high on drugs. Seems like a lot of the world is tuned out. Poly market still has Trump around 60%. odds on winning the election. It was at 68. Kamala has ate into it a little bit with her surging, which is now leveling off. She's going to have the full media machine behind her, 1000%. Trump's going to be lucky if he gets any scraps in his favor. CNN, though, has been covering things a little differently, I will admit. I saw a polling thing. Not a polling thing, but I saw CNN was covering Trump, basically the Trump campaign and the head of Project 25, which Project 25, the head of that, stepped down and resigned and actually apologized. He's been, enjoying this. He's been in the friggin' limelight in the media and stuff, and they're kind of like exploiting Trump. And I guess Trump was none too pleased. So he put the kibosh on that. And CNN actually covered it and discussed it, but unfortunately they had former Mayor de Blasio on there saying, it doesn't matter, Trump's going to do that stuff anyway. Yeah, okay. Whatever you say, Mr. Fascistic Authoritarian who tried to prevent fat people from drinking soda in New York with his pen, like a little dictator. So these people are crazy. And I'm going to cut across here. Definitely a night tonight where the people that drink are drinking. So I hope I don't run into too many drunks. I really don't like that. But when it's warm and humid like this, it goes down good. I think through my entire lifetime, whenever anything happens where you run into somebody that's been drinking, it's always on a hot, humid night. Seems like, anyways. Yep, definitely sticky. It's sticky. Aroma Joe's drive-through for coffee. Coffee. Crickets. Just felt a couple of raindrops. That's definitely a threat tonight. All kinds of water coming in the New Hampshire border. Joy's open late. Look at that. They're open late. Crickets. So what else did we talk about? Vinyl records, they're still sales are still going good. They're doing very well. I think probably do well for a couple years more, maybe 5. And see how that goes. It's kind of good though, because they've been mastering really good remastered stuff for vinyl, which is very important, the distinction. Because when they first started remaking vinyl, they were using like digital masters made for CDs, and they didn't sound good. I mentioned this before. I got a Mastodon album that sounds absolutely awful. CD sounds good, but on vinyl, it just sounds sterile and flat. And it's unfortunate because it's a good album. But anyways, I have their stuff on CD. It sounds all right. But anyways, what I was saying about that is all of those classic old albums that have been out of print for a long time are being reissued. Everything from 38 Special to Foreigner to whatever. And what's cool about it is they're adding variants at different store chains, like, you know, Best Buy or Target will have their own colors or variants and pressings. Walmart too. So, you know, you could collect them all. You could have like the new reissue of the Eagles' Greatest Hits, for example, and or Hotel California, and you can go get them in different colors and buy the same record 5 times. Smart for marketing, because people do that. I've done that with soundtracks. That's part of the fun of it. My recommendations would be the Pink Floyd reissues and the Led Zeppelin remastered reissues as well. Both of those were done exceptionally well. So were the Van Halen ones. The Iron Maiden ones were done well too, except for the first 3 in the US market. They hurried up and got those out before Christmas, and they sound terrible. But the second batch that they reissued sound good. And on the ones that sound bad, it was only on one side. So, and what I mean by bad is it sounded bassy, too much bass, sounded muffled, like it was recorded through a pillow. So for the first three, I ordered the first three on Parlophone from overseas. Those were perfect. And I also have a complete box set of their albums that were on CD from 1990 on. I have those reissued, remastered on Parlophone, which were reissued for the first time because they weren't on vinyl. And if they were very limited in Europe. People are definitely outside on their porches tonight. Very warm and humid. It's usually, you can usually see that when it's like that. So, as I was saying, tons of different choices for turntables too. Introductory, standalone $60 players at Walmart, like a Crosley. I really wouldn't recommend doing that unless, the only reason you should do that is if you're not sure if you like vinyl or not, never had it maybe. But if you've experienced vinyl before, thinking about getting back into it, don't buy those. Buy a well, I don't mean a standalone, I mean a portable. That's what I meant to say. Portable, like a little suitcase. You open it up and play a record. They're probably better than some of the old ones. But I would recommend using your home stereo system you have, because most turntables now have a preamp built into it. So you'll want to make sure you get a turntable that has a preamp built into it. Unless you're going to be using it on a stereo that has phono jacks. If it has just CD or auxiliary, it's a different impedance, and you will need a signal boost. That's just the way it is. So I'd recommend that. You can get a half decent turntable starting at about $300. They have ones like a Audio-Technica AT-LP60. You can get that for around $2. Pretty limited on the tone arm adjustments is the reason why I wouldn't recommend it. And there's a little bit of turntable platter noise because it doesn't have the, it's got more plastic. You want to avoid plastic. That's why I like the turntable I have, because the whole underside of it is rubber coated, and the top turntable terminology is called the plinth, P-L-I-N-T-H, which is the top of the turntable that the platter sits on. Mine is steel, made out of steel. And the underside of the aluminum alloy platter is rubber coated. Plus it has a rubber mat, or you could use a felt mat that comes with it. I opted for a Techniques vintage rubber mat. Deadens sound really nicely. And I'm not doing any of that record scratching like whoosh, whoosh, those rap guys. I don't do any DJing with it. So I don't need that. So got those cool things about it. All right, now tonight, which way do I go? Do I go that way? Or do I go this way? I always go that way, so I think I'll go this way. I'll cross the Candy Cane crossing walk. Looks like. On these side streets where it's a little quieter. Everybody's got their AC unit going tonight. It's definitely humid. I had to do some maintenance on my window air conditioner in my bedroom upstairs. Whenever it keeps running, it gets moisture in it because it's removing moisture, you know. And mold starts building up on the fan blades. And then one side of it starts kind of like it has freaking asthma or something. It's like the air is weak, and then it gets strong, and then it'll go weak again, and then it'll blow like it should. The right side's always working. So I already know from experience with that, you turn it off and you make a mixture of water and bleach, and you spray the fan blades inside with bleach, and it kills all the mold that's on it. And then it opens right up and it works like it's supposed to. So I gave it that treatment yesterday, and it was nice last night. Ooh, I just had a freaking bug stuck to my forehead. It landed me right in the forehead and it stuck because my face is wet. A lot of bugs tonight, and I'm in the city. It's just humid. Very humid tonight. When it's humid like this, it has pluses and minuses. The plus would be your bones and joints feel much better, easier to walk, and it's nice. The downside would be, as you get thirsty from sweating. Also, sometimes you see people you don't want to see. They come out of the woodwork. Already had a car beep at me going by. I don't know who that was. Wasn't anybody I knew. And also had a guy messed up on heroin. Smelled like alcohol. Did not enjoy that experience. So we'll cut through this student parking. See, this is a student parking, and the school bought all these properties. So these two buildings that were sitting here, they tore them down, and now it's a parking lot. I'm just cutting through here because I've never walked through here before. Walked by it, but looks like a good area they could make a skating rink in if they really wanted to. I don't think they would, though. It's a little uneven. So we'll cut through this way. So we got all that political nonsense and noise going on. Really aren't going to know anything or get anything going until Kamala Harris announces the vice presidential pick that she's going to have, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, because she needs to win Pennsylvania. Trump needs Pennsylvania for the White House, and so does she. So it's going to be the battle of Pennsylvania. So she's probably going to pick the Pennsylvania governor. What I got to do is I got to check up on the favorability of voters in Pennsylvania of Shapiro. He's a Democrat, obviously. So, see what happens. And it's not surprising because you have the Democrat strongholds in Pittsburgh, like in Pennsylvania, like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Freaking Philadelphia, you know, you win Philadelphia, you got a good chance of winning. And Trump's not going to win Philadelphia. So that's why he got J.D. Vance. That was specifically the tactic for that, through the Rust Belt, appealing to the middle class and the working class people that like money and like to have their money back, and they're tired of what's going on. So anyways, we're walking here. You could call that the blue light district. Well, it isn't. Wherever you see those blue lights on campus, that means there's a security phone or a buzzer button. You just push a button and talk into a speaker for help. They got those all over campus. Looks like we've got one here. A little box underneath it. So they're easy to spot. And it looks like they got a backhoe over here. Guess they're gonna be digging something up over there outside the old radio station. I wonder what they're doing over there. Progress. If you remember last week when we walked through here, there was digging going on up here. It might have been a week and a half ago. I'm wearing cargo shorts tonight. Highly recommend those walking in, unless you're in the woods. I don't care how hot it is in the woods, I would not recommend wearing shorts. And you see people in videos hiking with shorts all the time. I wouldn't recommend it. I saw one woman, she was hiking on the Appalachian Trail, which I can actually access that around here. I could walk all the way down through Tennessee if I wanted to, if I wanted to spend the rest of my year walking. She had a one of those pith helmet kind of things with a bug net on it. You know, it comes down over your face, around your neck. So she could walk and not have to worry about black flies and mosquitoes, and because she had her arms and legs covered. And that's the way to do that. I've seen some of these other videos of people walking in the woods, and it's like, man, why would you even go out there dressed like that? And sure enough, they get towards the end of their walk and go, man, there's bugs. And I get my share just walking in simple woods around here. You know, you can imagine going out in Acadia National Park or something, or Katahdin in Maine here, Mount Washington. You know, and the other thing I don't understand is how people could lose their life hiking on Mount Washington. Yeah, it's high up there. Yes, the weather is different. I mean, you could literally go up there on an August day, especially towards the end of August. It could be 85, 90 degrees at the bottom. And you get up to the top, and overnight it's 36, 38 degrees. Cold enough for hypothermia if you're just wearing a t-shirt and shorts. So the experienced hikers, they pack a good backpack with a quality tent you can set up. They get a lot of cool equipment now. And if you have to stay overnight, you can be sheltered with heat and have water and food. So the ones that don't make it are the ones that don't think about that, and they just figure, well, I'm just going to go up there. It's only going to be a 3 or 4 hour walk. I'll be back before it gets dark, but then they get lost. Now, all the trails made for hiking on Mount Washington are all marked. And every once in a while, some of them have places where you could spend the night inside, like these little cabins, or these little cutout kind of shelters. They're kind of like exposed to the elements, but they'll have like a roof over it with a picnic table, and you can sit inside there and stay warm if you need to. So they do have things like that on the trails, but if you get lost and you get off the trail, it's not going to do you any good. And so I've been researching that lately, watching a lot of videos on YouTube about hiking on Mount Washington. There's a lot of them. And there's really no reason for anything bad to happen to you. People that have lost their lives on Mount Washington was being ill-prepared for the elements, not putting 2 + 2 together, that when you're up in the thinner atmosphere, it's cold, more difficult to breathe, you get tired faster, and you know, people can get lost if they're disorientated and they're not paying attention. Once you wander off the trail because you weren't paying attention to the markers, you can actually get lost and not find your way back, not even 50 feet where you just left the trail. Sometimes you lose sight of it. So even the experienced ones on the marked trails, if they've never hiked it, they'll take a second, and I've been watching them, they'll say, oh, there it is right there. You see that opening across the water right there? That looks like a trail opening, and it was. So you get to see what it's like. And you're not going to have cell phone service, okay? And you're just not. And so you're not going to have cell phone or internet, and you're not going to be able to use GPS. So you need to have a real compass. You also need to let somebody know that you are going hiking. You need to let them know how long you're going to be hiking, and tell them what trail you're taking. You need to do all that stuff, because if something does go wrong and somebody's looking for you, they'll know where to look. Very important. Stupid little things like flashlights. You know, your cell phone has a flashlight. They got all kinds of little USB rechargeable flashlights. Those work really well. A lot of them are waterproof. If you end up going through water or something, you won't ruin it. And there's all kinds of things you can use. And probably one of the most important things is footwear. Friggin' footwear. Very important, as well as dry socks. So having a change of socks, maybe a change of shirt, maybe even pants, shoes, whatever, because you never know what could happen. You could blow the seat out of your pants. So, pretty interesting watching all that. Simple thing like a multi-tool hunting knife. Having a good multi-tool would be good, especially one with a little saw. They also have like these collapsible saws you can buy, which you open it up. It's like a 10-inch blade or 12-inch. You can cut through tree branches to make a fire if you need to. So, but I guess the problem is a lot of people don't realize that, you know, once you leave the city and you're stuff that makes things society civilized, you're on your own for everything. Heat, warmth, whatever. So, hey. Another questionable looking fella carrying a bag, looking rather disheveled. They're coming out of the woodwork tonight. That's my cue to head back home. Bicycle here. I love this sign. It says be nice. Be nice, everybody. Be nice. So it's kind of interesting what's been going on with Trump and world leaders. We had Netanyahu visit Trump at Mar-a-Lago, which was nice. And he was really surprised by Trump when he met him. It's kind of a well-viewed clip on the internet, if you haven't seen it. So he shows up at Mar-a-Lago and Trump comes out to greet him. And Trump just grabs his hand like a bro handshake, you know what I mean? And pulls Netanyahu into him like, you're my buddy. And Netanyahu went, whoa. He actually did that. He went, whoa. So it was kind of cool. So he knows that Trump's going to be elected. I think he senses that. A lot of these world leaders have been paying attention to Trump. And so there are people that are world leaders that thought it was funny, you know, to make fun of Trump, like Trudeau and Macron in France. And I'm sure Trump's not going to forget that. And it's going to be interesting. Trump has to win, folks. That's all I'm saying. The main reason that they need to win is the Democrats need to know that they're not all powerful and supreme and can do whatever they want without consequences. It's really important for many different reasons for Trump to win. And I still say that Trump is waiting for the Democratic convention to schedule his Butler rally. He'll probably wait until the convention's over, is my guess. Because that'll break the news narrative. Pretty dirty, disgusting thing that they're trying to hide the fact that an assassination attempt was done. Media is not talking about it much, and they're just not going to glorify it. It's too late, though. It's people know what happened. Everybody knows. Everybody saw. So with that, we're going to have things like Google changing their search engines to try to hide it. And they're also suppressing the photograph, that iconic photograph. Bing isn't, DuckDuckGo isn't. A lot of the search engines aren't going to do that, and Google has gotten a lot of heat. And Trump kind of gave them a warning today, saying if that stuff doesn't stop, you know, when he gets in the White House and we have Congress and the Senate, you know, we're going to have to do something about that. That's election interference. You know, then people say, well, Google's a private company. Yeah, well, they're affecting elections, you know. They're not in the business of that. So that's not their business. That's like somebody that manufactures and sells sofas doing things to sabotage a candidate in their town. There's crimes against that. Election interference, you can't do that. We have election laws. And they're going to do it anyway. They're not going to listen. These people don't listen to anything until it affects them. And we need to elect Trump so it affects them. Kind of movie I would be interested in watching tonight is the original Mad Max. That's a really cool movie, timeless. And what I like about it is it's been remastered beautifully. It looks gorgeous. They didn't make it look sterile and digital. They made it look kind of organic, cleaned up, nice. And the Blu-ray I have has the Australian cut and it has the US cut on it. And what that means is you can watch it in Australian, which sounds funny to say it, but they re-recorded all the dialogue for the American market using English accents. not British, but you know, American English. And they even some of the characters in it, you watch it in the Australian version and they sound different because it's how it was made in Australia with the actual Australian's voice in it. Very interesting. That's the version I like to watch. Just like when I watch my Godzilla box sets, I like to watch the Japanese dialogue versions with English subtitles because the movies flow better. They don't sound like that really bad English dubbing. I mean, you can watch it like that if you want to. There is the English version you can watch. You know, sometimes I'll watch that, but for nostalgia's sake. But I got all of those movies. King Ghidorah, Rodan. I got some Gamera ones. They were such a favorite of mine when I was 10, 11 years old. I used to love it when Creature Double Feature out of Boston used to have that. On TV 56, WLBI out of Boston. And they used to have an Emerson, Lake and Palmer clip for the theme song. Pretty cool. Anyway, oh, getting a nice breeze. That feels good. That feels really good, actually. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, 5 miles is just fine for me for a daily. Right now I'm feeling yesterday's walk, which is okay. That's okay. Could do without toothless, disheveled looking heroin addicts talking to me, asking me for change or if I got heroin. Could have done without that. And it's the second time I saw that guy too. The other time he wasn't drunk. Now I know who he is. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Head on a swivel, folks. I listen behind me when I'm walking. Sometimes I stop and look around. It's not only for people, you know, sometimes there's stray dogs. I haven't had any stray dog problems this year. But what you don't do with stray dogs is try to run. That's a mistake. That triggers them. It's like a sign of weakness, because that's what they do when they confront each other. They'll have two of them standing off, and as soon as one of them starts turning his back to go away, that's a sign of giving up. And it's a green light for a dog to attack. Same thing with bears. You know, the thing with bears is, you know, you see it in the movies, somebody's getting chased by a bear and then go up a tree. That's not really accurate. Bears climb trees. Friggin' grizzly bear's head is, if you could cut the head off a grizzly and stand it on end, you could stand behind it, and you might actually, if you crouch down, you'd be able to hide behind it and somebody wouldn't see you. The friggin' things are huge, you know. Friggin' things are gigantic. Sometimes you got those videos you'll see like on YouTube where a guy raised a grizzly cub, and that grizzly bear loves this guy to death. And you watch it, and it's a big guy, and he looks like a little kid next to the bear. That bear could kill him instantly. Instantly. It's amazing the size of them. I don't care, I'm on my bike, enjoying a warm, humid night, playing my tunes. Doo-doo. Oh, nice breeze. Feels like the kind of breeze you get when you're going to start getting rain or a thunderstorm. But I didn't see any of those on the map when I left, and there was none predicted for tonight, but that doesn't mean anything. Whew. Yeah, I'm sweating a lot. I drank like three sparkling waters before leaving the house. And usually I have to go to the restroom by now, but because I'm sweating, I'm not, which is why I did that. Would not do that if it wasn't humid. Whew. All right. Resetting my RAM. Random access memory. So it's really funny watching Trump today on stage. You know, they're trying to talk to him about his cases, his law troubles, and Trump said, you know, it's a political persecution, and she's saying, but this, but that, and he's like, look, Biden had 50 years worth of documents in his garage that he wasn't authorized to have in the first place. And he says nothing happens to Joe Biden because he's a feeble old man with a poor memory. And you can't argue that. That's what they did. They did this to Trump because it's Trump. And he said, you know, the documents case has gone away now, at least till after the election. Still need to find out what's going on with Trump's sentencing in September. After the assassination attempt and stuff like that, and being the candidate, I don't think even that crooked judge is going to have the cojones big enough to sentence Trump to actual jail time. It probably should have been a misdemeanor offense to begin with, not that he even did it. But as I've explained before, one of the offenses went past the statutory limit. It expired, but they used that as he had an intent to commit that crime to cover another crime, and they made it a felony. He cheated. They cheated. So we're going to go this way because I'm at 4.5 miles early. I don't need to take that route that goes up that way to add my extra half mile. Now I can just stay where I was going. Which is the way I came, if you remember. Enjoyed tonight's walk like I enjoy all of them. And you know, it's always different on the walks. Tonight I got pestered for heroin from somebody and loose change. So never a good thing. As you can see, we had 3 police cars go by in this little stretch. Apparently they're busy this evening, I can imagine. Wrap up this walk shortly up ahead. Decided to wear my compression shorts for my walk tonight instead of regular underwear, and I have mentioned that on my walks before, so you know why I'm saying that if you watch them. This is my inside the waistband carry holster. Rubs against the inner part of my thigh. Oh, here he is again. That's that same guy. He's swearing. You too. Thank you. Have a good night. Well, that was interesting. We will have edited that out because we'll edit that out because you know, I'm not going to upload personal information and personal stuff of people on my channel. Not even sure if I can or not. I probably could because it's, you know, public this or that, but I was on their private property talking with them. So but basically the conversation was, and I told you, didn't I told you, because it's warm tonight, people are drinking. And he said that the guy was telling me that that guy had told you. I said, I saw that guy again. That's the guy that, you know, wanted some heroin off me and other stuff and some change. Now he was coming by giving them a hassle, and it turns out the guy I was talking to actually knows him, and he said that that guy is schizophrenic. And I asked him, I said, so is, you know, that's all fine and good, you know, he's got issues. Is he dangerous? Is he violent? Does he have a propensity for violence? I asked him. And he was like, well, as soon as he said that, that means could be or not be, you know. I mean, basically that means yes. So definitely have my head on a swivel with that guy. And he would not have a good day of it if he decided to mess with me, that's for sure. I always try to avoid problems. So, you know, this guy was just out there trying to cause trouble with somebody, giving people the finger and yelling. It turns out he knows them, and those people obviously turned him away when he wanted something because he's nuts. And that's why he was giving him the finger. So anyway, that guy's name was Paul, not the bad guy, the good guy I was talking to. It turns out they're voting for Trump, so that's good. And so anyway, you have to watch out and talk with your neighbors, and now I got more information, which is good. So somebody over there working on a car that obviously won't start, because there would not be a car there this time of night, and there's somebody there trying to help. So anyway, you know, you got to deal with things. It's important to talk with your neighbors. So that guy's name is Paul that lives down that way. So now I know that. Those are those guys that work on muscle cars, and they flip them, sell them. Pick up this bottle. Picked up this bottle I found because it's a good size one. It's bigger than your regular one. There goes the police. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. Always an adventure when you go walking. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to deal with people. Not my favorite thing, I have to admit. Anyways, I'm gonna head back now. I want to thank you for walking with me. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. Make sure you bring Ed with you. Your everyday, your EDC. Make sure you always have Ed with you. just hit 5 miles. So anyway, we're going to sign off, and I'll be keeping an eye out for that guy in the neighborhood again. And we will talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for walking with Beau.